It's time for the next episode of The Cheapest Podcast with the cheapest critics. I am Max.
I'm Justin.
And Madison.
So, I mentioned last episode, 2 weeks ago, the music section is dead due to Justin and Madison hating both country music and Taylor Swift. So, we decided to have a new segment. Have the wheel decide through 4 selections what show to watch. We all had our own suggestion, and I also put in Xavier Renegade Angel as a chaos pick. The first selection was from Justin.
And I chose Fargo. I had heard good things about it. I had never really looked into it, if people say it's a good show.
Yeah, it's based Coen Brothers, very popular directors and very beloved. I hadn't seen Fargo, both the movie or the show, but I really enjoyed it. The first episode was very engaging, had a nice pace, suspense, and you didn't really know exactly what was going on. But what do you guys think of it?
Can we say spoilers?
Spoilers!
Spoilers.
Leave!
Spoiler alert!
For a show that came out like 8 years ago.
2014 is when the first season started getting released. And the first episode is it opens up, it's nighttime, and you see Billy Bob Thornton with a very questionable haircut driving in the winter. I forget, he's listening to something on the radio. It sounds like some sort of like maybe true crime show,
like
maybe.
A murder podcast.
And he turns that off, and you hear someone banging on the trunk of the car that he's driving, which tells you
he's a little bit sneaky.
What you got in here?
Though he does run into a deer.
Yeah, so...
And the guy books it into the woods.
Like a dumbass. The road was right out in front of him.
Well, he wanted to hide away from Thornton.
The dude had a head injury.
The guy...
He didn't know.
The guy was in the trunk. Something happened after Billy Bob hits the deer and swerves off the road. Somehow the trunk is unlatched. The guy is able to escape. We see that he's only in his boxers, which kind of sucks because it's like in the low.
It's snowing
like
outside.
It's like below 10 degrees.
There's snow.
100%. Yeah, there's snow all over the ground.
And when we see his body later on, because spoiler alert, he dies. Not an important character. He's just frozen over. I really enjoyed the mystery of Thornton's character, and it's not really discovered here. He's just a mysterious man, and I really liked his personality and how he interacts with other characters. His conversations have a lot of weight to it due to Thornton's acting ability. In particular, I liked the ending scene. He talks to a cop. Who is your favorite character?
For me, I'm heavily invested in Billy Bob's character, and I think his name. I think they say his name is Vern.
I forget what his name is. It's not. I don't think it's Vern though.
Oh.
No.
Vern is.
With the subtitles, I thought it said like Vern.
They did. They did say Vern, but let me check. Malvo.
Malvo is his name?
Lorne Malvo. Who's Vern?
Wait, his name.
Oh, Vern is the police officer.
Malvo?
Oh. Vern is the chief.
Molly.
Yes.
Vern.
Molly is the deputy. Vern is the chief that came in.
The chief or the
That
sheriff,
that got shot.
Oh, the guy with the paint bucket.
Yeah, so he's the. I guess it will be sheriff since she's a deputy.
Well, there's more than one police officer, right? Oh, I guess deputy is right under. I guess. I don't know how police officers work.
I think because he was telling her. I think he even says to her that she'd make a good sheriff.
I figured that would be just like someday. Well, Saul Goodman can be sheriff.
So good.
I don't think
he's witty enough.
I don't think he'd be able to be the sheriff since he has such an aversion to blood and dead people.
They don't do anything to sit in office. I will say, it was fucking ridiculous how how Martin Freeman, his character, gets out of that conflict.
It came out of nowhere. Like, nothing indicated that he was gonna kill his wife.
No, it indicated that he was losing it because, you're a little man.
Because he's
Well, definitely.
he's bullied his entire life.
Yeah, he was
literally.
derided.
Well,
He was
yeah.
starting to get angry. Thorne's character's like, do you want me to kill Sam Hess? And he doesn't say anything. He's thinking on it. So that's telling us that he has dark impulses.
We are kind
That
of
is what we call
jumping around.
foreshadowing.
Oh, we're not going in order for
Okay.
the. It's an
Yeah, no,
episode.
it's too much. Hour and 10-minute episode. We're just talking about whatever sticks out.
Like with movies, right? That's just gonna be like one continuous narrative. For these, I'm just summarize our overall thoughts.
Yeah, so Sam Hess is his old high school bully he runs into when he's just out.
Looking at something like right after his job.
He
because
was
he's an
looking
insurance broker.
at new washers. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, because his wife
yeah,
was deriding him for not being a man enough to.
to fix their washer.
Yeah.
And which I love, by the way, because later he's literally trying to fix the washer like she asked, and she's like, "Do you even know what you're doing?" And it's like, dude, just let him cook, please.
Let him cook.
Literally, because the washer ends up being cooked after he works on it.
So Sam Hess, being his old high school bully, at one point stuffed him in an oil barrel and rolled him down the street.
And it's mentioned multiple times.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get it.
So him being bullied by Sam in high school, and then also mentioning that his wife gave him a handy at one point while they were in high school.
And he's like, wait, trying to make me jealous now? You're embarrassing me in front of my kids? So he breaks his nose without actually hitting
Touching him. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say that scene was cringe. It was not funny. It made me angry, but
I don't
it's
think it
more
was-
of the writing.
I don't think it was meant to be funny.
No. It was. I think it was meant to be somewhat humorous, but it was really funny when he's that interaction between him and Thornton, where he's just trying to explain what's going on.
I do like the idiot sons. One of them is played by I think his name is Benny in My Babysitter's a Vampire. I love him.
Oh boy.
That's another thing.
Well,
But that is a good show.
well, you can suggest that
That's all I'm
show
saying.
when we're done season one.
I gotta say, like, you gotta feel bad for Freeman's character Lester, because he gets bullied by Sam Hess.
Well, you don't really feel bad for him at the end.
And then he goes home to get bullied by his wife.
Yes. He also gets bullied by his brother.
Yeah,
Why is
that
everyone
too.
such a fucking dick to him?
Because
And
he's
his
not.
wife-
Because he's not a man.
And his
in
wife
Minnesota.
says
In
that
2006.
his wife says that she wishes that she was married to his brother instead of the woman that his brother's currently married
And
to.
also, his wife needs to meet the 2008 housing crash. Because she's complaining about how their house is a fucking shithole and she wants to live like his brother's family. I would kill to have their house. Okay?
So the story takes
Yeah.
place in 2006. So she's not yet
In Minnesota,
experienced-
by the way.
Mention that.
She's not yet experienced the housing crash of 2008, and she will not experience the housing crash of
Oh.
2008.
So, how did you guys react when he knocked her on the head with that hammer?
I completely did not expect it. I didn't
I saw
I
him
wasn't
grab the
ex-
hammer.
I
And I was
wasn't-
like,
I thought it was
well,
gonna be.
Because she was like, "What are you gonna do?
I thought she
Hit
was
me?"
gonna. I thought
Here's
she was
what
gonna
I
back
thought it was
down.
gonna be in the beginning. From the description, it seemed like it was just gonna be that man who plays Billy Bob Thornton. What was his name?
Malvo. Yeah,
Malvo.
Malvo.
It seemed like it was just gonna be his character.
He's
The
one
one guy into that life.
He is a shit stirrer.
Yes.
That is what his character is. He causes chaos and
Yes,
destruction
he is.
on
Yeah, he
purpose.
gets paid to I guess kill people.
I think he's a hitman. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think that was what implying
That's
by
definitely his
clients.
But then his pastime, what he does for
Yeah,
fun,
he
is
It's
just
just
goes
going
stir the
around.
Goes to hotels and gets.
That was a
I
whole.
guess he would be a bellboy or something.
That was
for
hilarious. That exactly what he did. He just stirred the shit
place. Yeah.
because
He
he's
didn't
like,
get
yeah,
paid to do that or
yeah,
anything.
he's like,
He's just-
that one was mean. This kid's kind of bad at his job. Let's fuck them both. I definitely feel like this has a lot of potential. I was not expecting, by the way, fucking dumbass Lester. he fucking runs into a wall,
Yeah.
and he actually
there was
managed
a
to get out
window
scot-free.
right there.
Well, that would prove him guilty, I
yeah.
guess. Well, I don't think he was thinking, like...
He could say he wasn't home when it happened.
So I'm gonna be honest. When he
Yeah,
ran it, when he
has
ran
options.
when he ran into the wall, I didn't know what he was thinking. It took me like a half a second to figure out what his plan was there.
Was that
'Cause-
his plan, or was he just being stupid? He's like, how did he escape?
That's what I thought at first too. I was like, is he trying to Harry Potter his way out of this shit? Like platform 9 3/4?
Well, I thought he was just looking at the inspirational poster.
I would
Because
just love
it's
to
like-
think that he just stumbled
did it
backwards
say?
out of this.
It said, "What if you're right and they're wrong?"
Yeah. Very narcissistic. phrase.
I would definitely think that his wife put that on there.
Yeah.
Well, they did not make every single character around Lester an absolute douche. That it was a little bit too on the nose for me. Like, but I think the overall like crime story of it is gonna be very interesting. Because how the hell are you gonna capture this guy?
I can almost guarantee that they're not going to explain how he got out of the house when he went down in the basement, but I want to know how the fuck Malvo escaped from the house.
Because I think the show was looking for that too. I'm assuming it's going to be explained, unless you really want to keep the mystery of Malvo alive.
I think that's what they're going to go for. I don't think they're going to explain how he gets out.
So.
Yeah, because he's already kind of like leaving town, it seems.
I'm so mad we only get one season of this, though. Because the next is different stories.
Well, you know that it's complete and it properly paced.
But from what I read in an
He's a
article,
very interesting character, though. I want to see more of him.
But from what I read in an article, it says that the stories do eventually like intertwine. So I'm curious to see how that
really?
goes. What? So season 1 dropped in 2014, then season 2 I think was 2015, and then 3 was 17, 4 was 2020, and season 5 is currently being released in 23.
From what I believe, this was supposed to be a limited series because I mean, Fargo wasn't exactly a ginormous film. Actually, let me not look like an absolute dumbass here. Because Coen Brothers aren't necessarily known for box office glory. I could be wrong. In fact, I'm probably wrong, knowing my track record. Cool.
Scores for
The box office. Just as I expected, the movie didn't do that well. But, you know, it's still a great movie from what I hear. Eventually, I will experience it. But for now, the TV show is pretty great. That was episode 1. Now, here is how we're going to try to figure this out. So, the TV shows, we'll watch an episode, the first episode of the series. We'll decide whether or not we want to continue with it to watch the first season, and then next week we'll talk about season 1. So, for Fargo, all in favor of watching Fargo season 1 for next week, say aye.
Aye.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll be watching season 1 of Fargo. It will be probably enjoyable. I've heard the show is amazing, so we shall see.
And then maybe a couple months from now we can vote on the other seasons. Or we can keep them in the wheel.
This was Justin's suggestion.
I was gonna propose that after we finish with season 1, we would decide after we talk about it on the podcast if we want to continue and watch the first episode of season 2, see how we like that one.
Well, I think that you can add, like, because it's an anthology show, you can add it to the wheel.
Okay.
But like,
you want to do it that way?
Yeah, but like 5 episodes, like, or how many episodes that would take of Fargo? You know, variety is the spice of life.
So finish season 1,
yeah,
and then add like season 2 onto the wheel.
Yeah.
The next. Okay.
Actually, you know what?
Just do the entire season.
No, every time, right, that we finish a season of a show, first episode
we just add it to the wheel.
Yeah, and we have this endless collection of seasons to watch. Like, so let's just say, for instance, one of us suggests Breaking Bad. We watch the
Oh God.
like.
I
I'm
love
using
Breaking Bad,
I'm
but
using
I've seen
it
a
as
million
an
thousand
example.
times. I know.
So it would just be in the wheel until further use.
I mean, yeah, that could work.
Yeah.
Seems fine.
That's a good idea.
And we get some potentially wacky options. I
I'm gonna
can't.
suggest like season 3 of the Cleveland Show.
No, we
We
can't.
gotta start from the
It's gotta
Yeah.
be season 1.
Yes, we gotta experience it from straight from the womb.
from the womb.
So that was Fargo.
I'm very excited to see where the rest of season 1 goes. I have very high hopes, and I'm sure that it will probably meet most of my expectations. Because it seems like one of those shows where it's going to be just really good all the way through.
I mean, it is sad that it is sad that I won't get to see that character. I very much liked his character.
The Chief Vern,
No, the
Sam Hess, no,
no,
the bully.
Oh my God, no! Ew,
Tom Hanks' son?
not the one that. Well, he didn't die, but he's probably quitting the force as we speak.
Do we have any other things to say
About Fargo?
about Fargo?
Well, I was gonna say that I'm sad that I only get 1 season's worth of the
Of Billy Bob Thornton's character. Well,
hitman.
well, we don't know if he dies. He could pop it. Like, this is apparently based on a true story. So,
It is not based on a true story.
well, we'll see how season 1 goes. Time for our news segment. The first piece of news I have is the box office for this past weekend. Number 1 was supposed to be Wish in its debut weekend, but it actually got outperformed not by 1, but by 2 movies. Number 1 was The Hunger Games, A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. We actually, Madison went to go see it.
Yes, I did. It was the first movie that I saw in the theaters by myself.
Wow, you're a big girl
spoiler.
now.
Thank you. Spoiler, there is no end credit scenes, but you will see a custodian who is very upset.
Movie theater employees always...
I don't want to name
Movie
drop it.
theater employees always make you feel guilty for being there.
Honestly,
It's like fast food.
don't put end credit scenes in movies if you don't want me to.
I want
see.
I want to watch the credits to see the names of the people who worked in the goddamn movie. And you want me to leave so you can dust some popcorn? I don't mind.
Yeah, most of the time they don't even do a good job, because sometimes when you come to see your next your movie, there's still popcorn.
Oh,
on the
don't
fucking
get
floor.
me
Oh,
fucking
there's still
started on the story.
Condoms on the seats.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that happened.
He's the reason why I shine a flashlight on all the seats before I sit down.
Oh, you don't
I'm
go early.
I'm traumatized via proxy from that story.
But yeah, I also went to the movies this past week. Not to see Hunger Games. It's on my list eventually. So number 2 was Napoleon, Joaquin Phoenix. It overperformed. It was okay. Too long, dragged in a couple places. It was actually a lot more funny than I was expecting, intentionally and unintentionally. Beautiful action scenes and cinematography. Number 3 was Wish, Disney's newest movie, and now people are fully in the swing of Disney sucks, they've been having a horrible year. And then I looked at their big releases, not the stuff they made with Fox, like The Boogeyman or Next Skull Wins, their big releases. Like, only 1 movie by them has made a profit from my calculations, and that was Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Elemental lost money. Little Mermaid lost money. Indiana Jones lost money. Haunted Mansion.
What is that movie called? Inside Out. Is Inside Out
That is
from them?
Pixar next year.
Oh, that's Pixar.
Yeah, well, Disney owns Pixar, but that is next year.
Okay, but that's not like a Disney movie.
It is, but it's the company.
So,
Well, yeah, but it's separate.
Haunted Mansion, when did that get released?
End
This
of
year?
July,
Yeah.
right after Barbenheimer.
End of
Yeah.
July, though.
Yeah,
Like,
so I
why?
feel like if they would have released it, sometime in October,
Well, they wanted it for Disney Plus for October. Who cares about your bottom
Why don't
line?
you just release it at
they
the
could
same
have released
time?
it. Yeah, they could have released it.
It's your
both.
movie, dude.
Well, because the theaters would get upset. Because it takes away the movie tickets.
Boo-hoo. Release it in theaters 1 week, put it on Disney Plus the next.
That's what Netflix does. They have like 1 week
Release it
engagement.
in theater if you want to keep both people happy. Release it in theaters.
Just
at a
release
time
it
closer. But
Release it in
not-
September and then surprise
That's like when
last
people
second Disney
consider
Plus.
the first month of fall. It's
I guess Disney did do that with A Haunting in Venice, but like, come on, it's A Haunting in Venice. Like, oh yeah, I can't wait to watch the new Hercule Poirot movie with his handlebar mustache for Halloween. I also saw The Marvels, which is their biggest failure.
Well-
It's not even that bad. It's a bad plot, but I like the people involved. And I feel bad that they're gonna be punished for the executives. It's their fault. Kevin Feige. But yeah, Wish. I actually did also see Wish. It is so boring. It was very generic. There wasn't really any character arc. And the selling points of the movie include its animation style, which honestly looked unfinished. I didn't like.
That's what I said. I only saw the trailer and it just looked like weird to me.
It looked like they tried to take their models from like Frozen, Moana, that style, plop it in this, and take away the detail. Try to put like a shade on it,
Yeah.
and like instead of just trying to keep it from the ground up. The movie was supposed to be in 2D, but they said it was too hard to make a 2D animated movie, so they made it 3D. Then the star character, was supposed to be in 2D. Then they were like, okay, that's too hard, so they put it in 3D. And then a lot of the concept art and ideas look so much more interesting than the bland mess that we got. Oh my god. So instead of getting someone with experience in making musical theater, they decided to get the writer of Selena Gomez, Justin Bieber songs, Julia Michaels. She actually has a hit song of her own. If you remember it, Madison, it's called Issues.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Cause I got issues, and you gotta tell. That was nominated for Record of the Year, by the way.
I just had like retail flashbacks. I haven't heard that song in so long.
And it's so bad. What were you guys thinking, America? Why is that a hit song? Anyway, so they got her to make the songs in this movie. They are so soulless. Chris Pine is pretty enjoyable in this movie. He hams it up a little bit. But the song sounds like Imagine Dragons. Was
Lin-Manuel Miranda
No.
involved in it?
No.
People were saying it sounded like that.
Yeah, because
That villain song that got popular on TikTok.
it's not popular on TikTok.
It was flamed on TikTok.
Like every single person that talks about the song is like, this song would go crazy on mute. The song is not good. Ironically, it's the most memorable song in the movie. Everything else is just so milquetoast. So the main character has 7 best friends, based on the 7 dwarves, because it's the 100th anniversary. Ooh. But they have to. You got like how many characters to develop in this movie? Yeah, we can develop 7 best friends. It'll be fine. I can tell why it's failing. At the same time, I really want original animation to do well, because this year has not been good for that. We'll see how the Illumination movie does. Maybe it's good. I trust that director a little bit, but Illumination's just so bland, so corporate, so processed. But so is this movie, so I can't win. Original animation is dying. Hopefully, something can save it. Maybe the neutering dog movie will come and save the day.
Big Top Burger.
That's getting a movie?
No.
I guess YouTube is helping out. Spark creative interest of our youth.
Yeah. I was inspired
What?
by Big Top Burger. I like clowns. We're going off on a tangent. Anyway, Fantastic Mr. Fox? Are we there yet?
You know what? Sure. Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I loved it.
Right.
It was so vibey
It was
and orange.
a very, very well-made movie.
Can I just say, this was such a banger week because Fargo was good and Mr. Fox was good.
First things I noticed when we turned on Fantastic Mr. Fox, I think it said story by Roald Dahl.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Roald Dahl story.
From what I remember hearing about Roald Dahl, he was not a very great man.
Yes, but his
Certain
story...
views.
There's separating the art from the artist.
I know.
This is
I
a
know.
Wes Anderson film. Okay.
But it's a Roald Dahl story.
This is 100,000,000%
So-
a Wes Anderson
Wait, do
film.
you think Bogus Bunce and Beans?
Bogus Bunce and Bean.
Bogus. I keep
One
wanting-
fat, one short, one lean.
God.
Bogus, Bunce, and Bean. One fat, one short, one lean. 3 horrible crooks, so different in looks, but nonetheless equally mean.
Okay.
That's such
Damn,
a-
you got it down, Pat.
And
Listen, I've watched this movie
the
dozens of
neighborhood
times.
kids.
So that's one thing that I did not expect about this movie. 'Cause, I mean, the only thing that I had seen from this movie beforehand was like maybe a trailer back when it initially came out.
It didn't do well, by the way, when it came out. The squeak wool.
And I don't think in the trailer that they showed.
Squeakquel.
I don't think in the trailer that they showed any humans. So I thought this entire movie was just going to be
From the animals.
animated animals like the whole time.
Yeah,
So that was a pleasant surprise.
yeah.
Um,
Do you not like the designs of the animals?
no, I
Or
don't have an
you
issue
or
with
or you
it.
just loved the human characters, the
No,
farmers.
I was just surprised that it turned out to be the movie that it turned out to be.
Mhm.
Well, I knew
'Cause,
they
like,
were going to be humans because Bogus.
I got.
I keep wanting to call him Bogus.
The only thing that we saw in the beginning before the movie started was the words of the poem. It didn't.
Well, I already knew because I had seen this in. Well, I didn't see the movie, but I
Read the
read
book in second grade.
I never read any,
I have very
story
fond
of it.
memories.
I
So-
didn't read the book either. I watched this.
but I just like that it opens up and you're, immediately introduced to Mr. Fox. I think that they just call him Foxy.
Yeah, he doesn't have a first name.
And his wife Felicity, which isn't
They
revealed
name
until
drop.
later.
But-
You're introduced to the two of them, and then it cuts to them going to do his heist job.
Yeah, their line of work, which is just
Yeah.
stealing animals.
And immediately when it cuts to them going to do the heist, it shows their size compared to the world around them, and I was like, oh, so they're like making them the size of actual foxes in the real world. That's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
I love the animation for this movie, by the way. It's messy in the best way of
What?
stop motion, because like you can see
Okay.
the individual hairs moving occasionally, and it's like,
It's like every shift of movement, their hairs always are like constantly shifting back and
yeah,
forth.
yeah. I like that messiness. It feels like homemade in that way.
Except for the points where they say that they're glowing, they don't use the same character models.
Yeah,
They use something different.
I love that joke. I love this movie's sense of humor. If you guys like this movie, you guys are gonna like Wes Anderson. It is very quirky, very symmetrical, very focused, and very stiff when it comes to camera movement. It is a beautiful looking movie, and you guys know what I meant now by most orange movie ever made.
Yeah.
Almost every.
Foxes are orange.
I meant like the everything, the sky, the ground.
The leaves.
Yeah. So we cut into in the future. Mr. Fox is now
A dad.
well, yes, but he's a newspaper man. He writes a column that nobody reads. And we meet his he's a little turd.
He has a point
A point.
because his dad immediately takes the reins on having his cousin be a part of all his schemes and shenanigans.
Well, I love how
It's-
much of a little turd he is, though. Because it's established that, okay, your cousin with a sick uncle is coming to stay with us for a little bit. He's like, well, how long is he gonna stay here? His father looks like he has like 2 feet in the grave already. So, and there's so many funny scenes. Like,
All right, he's a little bit of a dick.
I definitely love the first interaction between him and his parents. Where he comes out and he's like, I'm sick. I can't go to school. And the mom's
he's just
like,
in his underwear.
You're not sick. And he's like, I have a very high fever. And she's like, no, you don't. And he's like, I just don't want to go. And she's like, go get ready.
And then he comes out and he has a cape on. Yeah. And he's like, what are you doing there? I can't believe they did get George Clooney, Meryl Streep.
I like the interaction between him and his cousin the first night, where he makes him cry and then he makes him feel better by watching the trains with him.
Yeah, he turns his toy
Yeah.
train set on.
Yeah, that's a cute little genuine emotion. There's so many wholesome scenes in this movie, but this movie is hilarious in that dry, witty way. So Mr. Fox feels poor, which he is, but he wants to buy a tree to live in. So he sees a tree, makes a new friend with Kylie the possum. We'll talk more about him later. How he's the best character, and he goes to his finance, Bill Murray, as a badger. We gotta talk about this movie. Has some guts. I really respect it. A kids movie that's not playing around.
Yeah, well,
Are we about to talk what I think we're about to talk about? The cuss?
that, but then also the fact that they just plain show alcohol in
Yeah,
the movie.
it's fine.
Alcohol and
Instead of-
cider.
I made a comment to Max earlier in our group chat. I was like, oh, they actually mention alcohol instead of calling it silly juice. Because they can never... They call it juice whenever alcohol is brought up, even though it's very clearly alcohol.
Yeah, like Hey Arnold.
Yeah, like just... Kids... I guarantee kids have been around alcohol before.
Well,
You
they
could
don't.
just-
Parents don't
Well, they
want
don't
their
want it
kids
promoting-
exposed.
I don't think they're promoting alcohol use. Didn't one of the characters died from
No,
the cider?
he didn't die from the cider. He was dying, and his last wish was to drink it.
They didn't even give him any.
They give him sludge or whatever. that
Apparently
shit
that was because they flooded it out. They flooded out the entire sewer
so
system
it was
with
cider.
yeah.
It looked really dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there might have been some sewage in that cider.
Yeah. But
He's a rat. He doesn't care.
we are jumping ahead.
Yeah.
So he buys the tree. A Kylie the possum. Great character.
He's like he's like pretty much the plumber at that point.
I love how he's just friends with Mr. Fox and he's just hanging around the house. Mr. Fox is like, well, I know I promised my wife that I wouldn't steal anything else from now on. But you know what? I see these farmers across my house. I'm just going to steal from them. So him and Kylie go out and steal from each of the 3 farmers. Bogus, who, big man, eats a ton of, what's the bird?
Chicken.
Chicken.
He eats
Yeah,
chicken
there's a lot
for
of chickens.
breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert.
So that's 12 chickens
A
in
Yeah.
whole
total.
chicken too.
No, it's like 12 chickens per meal or something like that.
No, it was
12
3 chickens per meal.
Is it?
Yeah.
3 chickens per... Bro.
Then there's Bunce, who they make fun
He
of him
has-
for being a dwarf, which
But he
A little
has,
iffy.
He has geese. Well, so the funniest thing about Bunce is, yes, he's incredibly short. They say that he can't even, that he would drown in the shallow end of a pool.
that's definitely a description from Roald Dahl's book.
I can't knock the short jokes because my sister is short and we both mock her relentlessly.
And, when they show him standing next to every other character, he comes to about the height of their kneecap. And it's the funniest thing.
He also eats liquefied goose liver into donuts.
Oh yeah, because that's his thing. He has geese and squabs, and I think a couple other birds, right?
Squab is like a pigeon. Yeah.
Yeah, so he has like a few other types of birds. It's pretty much like 3 other types of birds aside from. He doesn't have chickens because the first guy has chickens.
Yeah.
And then the final farmer, and everyone's favorite, is Bean. And he has alcoholic apple cider that he survives purely on, and he made his own species of turkey. And each of these farmers had their own security system. They give dogs blueberries with drugs. And their irises just go dark.
The eyes jokes.
Oh,
in these
Kylie.
movies.
Kylie's.
The spirals.
Yeah,
And then the one
you're gonna
at the
give
end
me
where
a
he just fucking dies.
Oh, you're just gonna give me a sign if you're catching any of this. Okay, you got it. When we get to Bean's house, he has a security guard, Willem Dafoe rat. He is great. And there's so many good scenes in this, but eventually the farmers get upset, and we go to school, and there's like a weird baseball. Owen Wilson's the coach. And
yeah, the most complicated game of baseball ever.
He literally explained every rule, and I still didn't get it.
And then
He explained it so fast.
and then he instantly gets it right away. He's like, "Man, he's great."
Yeah, his cousin's being a little shit show off.
Well, he's just being himself. And then he's like, "Well, I'm an athlete, right? Just stay in your lane,
Owen
kid."
Wilson's like, well, you're not getting any worse.
Fun fact: Owen Wilson got his acting start on a Wes Anderson movie. So, after we experience all these heists in school, where Ash is now a pariah, if he wasn't already, and the farmers are like, "Well, he stole from us. We're just gonna kill him. We know where he lives. We're just gonna shoot him." So they try to ambush him, and they shoot off his tail, which is pretty graphic for PG.
Yeah, he saw his little pink hole. I should not have said it.
God,
Cutting that out.
nope. I'm gonna keep that in.
Oh man,
All in its juicy glory.
his little pink hole is crazy.
It's right by his butt.
So the farmers decide the best course of action, since they can't shoot him anymore, is to just tear down the tree. And when that doesn't work, they're just gonna dig a massive hole in the ground with.
And they tried blowing it up.
Yes. And we get some of the emotional scenes because obviously Mrs. Fox is betrayed by what's happening.
Yeah.
Uh,
And she says that she shouldn't have married him.
that's really. I'm gonna lose my temper. Like when? Right now.
And
What-
she scratches it.
And he has that scar for the rest of the movie.
That's good attention to detail.
So
Consistency.
they keep digging throughout the entirety of funny. There's so many funny moments. Like, I got an idea after running against the wall.
Oh, yeah, doing his flip.
And so they keep digging, and eventually they realize that due to their actions, all the other animals are now suffering.
They've all been cussed.
Yeah, because they deforested the entire woods because of one fox.
They embarrassed. There's so many funny scenes in that. Like, you're gonna take this mud, chew it up, and swallow it. I don't want any mud. No, you're gonna do it. We hate your dad. The shit to Christopherson making fun of his sick father, making him sleep underneath train set. He still defends him. Why you take your shoes off? Because I don't want to break your nose when I kick it. So they have the genius idea to go, since they're out of the farms right now, to just steal everything from the farmers, because that's going to make things better. And we get the most hilarious scene in the movie. So the farmers are like, you know what? We made a mistake. We should have stayed out of it. And Apple Farmer Bean has the biggest meltdown of all time. He destroys everything. And then he goes outside, destroy more stuff. He's like, I got an idea.
He was tweaking. Just absolutely destroyed everything. And he was so calm too. Like he wasn't even screaming or anything.
No, like his hair was flipping up.
Well, yeah, he was animated, but he wasn't. It didn't really seem like he was mad, other than the fact that he was throwing everything everywhere.
That makes it more funny. His plan is to flood them out with alcohol.
His cider.
Fox has a plan to just let them kill him, and then everyone else will be free. But Mrs. Fox doesn't want that to happen because, you know, husband and all. And we get that scene in beautiful animation here in, I believe it's in the sewer, but it's like water. I really like how they did that effect. Apparently they used glass to replicate the water, because Wes Anderson hates CGI in the stop motion movies unless he absolutely needs it. Like the apple cider, that's that's glass for most of it, which is really cool. Can't praise the animation enough. It's choppy in a good way. I feel like stop motion kind of loses appeal when it's too smooth, because why not just make it 3D at that point? You know, that's for another day. Bean now wears Fox's tail as a tie. So Ash and Christopherson's plan is to go break into Bean's house, take the tie because they want to, prove themselves. But then they get distracted by eating, what was it, ginger snap cookies? By the way, I love how the animals eat in this movie, like absolute savages.
Well, because they eat like animals.
I know. It's a major point in the movie that
the noises they make too when they eat.
It's a major point in the movie that, well, I'm just a wild animal. And sometimes you do forget. What did you think about the voice acting in this movie?
I thought it was
good.
Pretty good.
So the monotone, stilted, dry delivery, that's Wes Anderson. Every single movie, every character mostly has that cadence. You can have a little bit of variation to that, but expect that style with anyone, whether it's George Clooney, Bill Murray, Jeff Goldblum, Swartzen, at any of them. Very limited exceptions.
I like that sense of humor.
So I'm happy I exposed you to my first Wes Anderson movie. So after Christopherson gets captured, they don't kill him though. They just leave him up in the attic, I guess, for bargaining power. They're bargaining with animals.
Well, they think that Christopherson is
His son.
Fox's son. Yeah.
Yeah. They send Willem Dafoe down for some reason with a letter that's been cut of magazine letters.
like a ransom note.
And he's like,
why did they do that? To hide their identity. But they tagged themselves.
Also, we know who they are. They're trying to kill us.
It's like they signed their names, and we already know who they are.
And then Ash is like, hey, they didn't take the son. I'm right here. He's like, well, okay. Then Mr. Fox comes back, and he kills the rat by pushing him into an electric fence. And,
so fucked up.
And he's dying, and his last wish is to drink that precious cider, which I thought he already was drinking it earlier in the movie, but whatever. He drank that liquid gold, died, and had the saddest eulogy.
Well, he was probably
I guess not, because it was his job to guard it, so I don't think
Yeah, but I thought earlier in the movie... Oh, no, he was smoking. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought he was just an alcoholic. Like Beans definitely is.
Oh, yeah. He only drinks cider.
Drinks.
He doesn't eat.
Alcohol.
He just drinks the alcohol. That's enough substance.
That's why he's so skinny. Kids, drink alcohol and you'll get really skinny.
But he gives the best eulogy of all time. Yeah, he might have redeemed himself, but he's still a dead rat behind the dumpster at a Chinese restaurant. He just puts him in water and he floats on it. So the new plan is for the Foxes and Kylie to go and free Christopherson from captivity.
Yes, as the rat told them the location.
Just before he died.
Yeah, exactly where they were keeping Christopherson at.
He had to change a part because he was dying. I forgot that they established this earlier, but Fox is afraid of wolves because natural predator of foxes are wolves, and they're riding away.
No, what he specifically says is, I'm not scared of wolves. I have a phobia of them.
That is the same thing, sir.
And they find a wolf just out chilling, and we have the most awesome fist pump of all time.
He's trying to like ask him questions. The wolf is not responding at all, and so Fox just sticks his fist in the air, and the wolf sticks his fist in the air.
It's kind of a dark ending, by the way, because the animals are now living in the sewer. They're barely eating. They're kind of struggling right now.
But
because
they're
of,
happy.
Because of the actions of Mr. Fox.
They have each other.
Though, technically, the Fox family, Kylie, and this random girl that was established earlier in the movie that Ash had a crush on, but then she got stolen.
She starts going steady with Christopherson.
Like they're lab partners, and he's like,
and the wife is expecting.
Yes. Again.
You're just loyal.
You're just loyal.
When she's paying attention to his cousin more than she is him.
Like,
you're not my lab partner. You're disloyal.
Who is your favorite character? I loved Kylie. Apple juice. Apple juice flood.
They all act so similar, honestly.
No, they're different.
Their humor's all the same, pretty much.
Favorite character? It's a tough pick, man.
Honestly, I kind of like the son.
I think I'm gonna go with the Willem Dafoe rat.
I wanted to pick that one, but I can't.
When he's snapping.
I can't pick Willem Dafoe as my favorite character in every Willem Dafoe movie. I can't do it.
I'm just picking him because not only the snapping, like he's in West Side Story, but also the southern drawl in his accent, in his voice.
It still sounds like Willem Dafoe, but it sounds like southern Willem Dafoe.
Yes, it's just Willem Dafoe speaking with like a southern accent, and it's just so entertaining.
He never half-asses. But I really love Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's a great starter point for Wes Anderson. Not as in his first movie, but like if you're not like,
he doesn't do kids movies, does he?
This is his only kids movie.
That's what I thought.
I'm gonna go back real quick. Just we kind of glossed over the whole what the cuss situation a bit, and I just want to say, when they pretty much when they first introduce the what the cuss, they go all out with it because they have him in a cuss battle with Badger, and it is so entertaining. He's like,
they're screaming.
Don't tell me not to cuss.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna get the home, and he's like, the cuss you are, the cuss am I. No, don't cuss with me. Don't cuss with me, and then you're ready to cuss. They just have a cuss battle.
I'm so happy that... I'm surprised this movie was made, to be honest with you. In 2009, with $40 million budget, with these stars, with everything involved, I'm so happy that it got made. Unfortunately, it didn't make money. Fuck you, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and Twilight.
Hey, watch where we're stepping.
No.
Watch where we're stepping.
No, nobody likes those movies. Not the stars. I'm sure.
Not the stars.
I'm sure.
Robert Pattinson.
And Kristen Stewart.
Which is exactly why.
And Kristen Stewart?
Yeah, she hates those movies.
Which is exactly why
I only heard about Robert Pattinson.
Well, yeah. I'm
exactly why he is trying to get away from the Edward shit by being Batman.
And also The Lighthouse. Oh my god, I want you to watch that movie so bad, but it might be...
And... what was that movie? It begins with a T.
Good Time?
No.
Twilight New Moon.
No! It's...
The one where he's in the 9/11 building.
Yes! Tenet.
No, that's not.
No?
No, that's Remember Me. Tenet is the Christopher Nolan movie where they go back in time and they're fighting their past selves, and
That's
it's really
Remember.
cool.
Oh, the TikTok video I watched got it wrong. Because I could have sworn they said Tenet.
Well, you trusted TikTok.
Listen.
They don't know anything about cinema.
I get all my news from the AI reporter fish on TikTok.
Well, can we find a replacement?
Either that or there's also now, I saw the other day, an AI Tom Tucker reporter who reports on real news. Don't whisper to each other.
I was gonna do the news reporter fish voice.
Our top story today.
When will he learn?
Breaking news! SpongeBob has not yet finished his report paper!
Did he lie, though? He is a reliable news source.
Anyway, what were we on?
Rating Fantastic Mr. Fox. I give it, honestly, a 9 out of 10.
Ooh, same.
Because I don't believe in 10s. Well,
I would also give it a 9.
Wow, look at us, we're together. Yeah.
what did we never rated Fargo.
Well, that's
Well,
not
we're
complete.
gonna
we're
rate the
not
entire
okay.
season.
Yeah,
And then we'll
I don't
rate it.
like
Okay.
rating individual episodes because it's not a full story. Well, like
Yeah, it's not
movies,
fair.
It's-
movies are a bit different.
Episodes have a narrative in
Yeah.
them.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, but we're
Like-
not like...
They're not intent. Like you can't like
Specifically
say
Vince Gilligan.
We
a lot
leave-
of his episodes.
We leave individual episode
out.
ratings to people on IMDb
Like the-
and internet blog posts.
I'm adding this in,
IGN,
and Max is not cutting it out. I am talking about Better Call Saul again.
the cuss you are.
The ice cream metaphor in Better Call Saul, where I don't. He drops his ice cream on the ground, and then later on in the episode,
He licks it
when
up.
he gets further, when he gets further into the cartel and the nasty business, his ice cream is now covered in ants, thus signifying his further corruption into the criminal world.
But then
It's
does he eat
actually-
the ants?
No, he does not eat the ants. You wouldn't understand.
I was just
because you don't-
imagining him like with an
you don't
ant eater
understand
tongue.
the cinematic expertise that I have in my noggin.
Bob Odenkirk enters the MCU as a new Marvel superhero, the Anteater.
There is no more the Ant-Man. He's been eaten by the Eater.
I have grown to absolutely love Bob Odenkirk. I loved him in Better Call Saul. I loved him in I Think You Should Leave, and I loved him in Fargo.
He's also good in Nobody.
Have you seen Nobody?
I
There-
think
we watched Nobody.
you were watching that around me. I wasn't specifically watching it,
They are making the
but
sequel.
I did like that.
It's kind of like John
And
Wick.
of course, Better Call Saul, which is what he's
Well,
most
it
known
is
for.
made by the crew that made
Or
John Wick,
Breaking Bad,
along with Violent Night.
Which explains a lot.
Well,
I gotta watch Violent Night again, because I really love
It is
Yeah.
Christmas time.
I really love the backstory that Santa is an old Viking
Yeah, he's
warrior.
Norse. He's a Norse god.
That is fucking intense and amazing.
Family. I'm tired.
What
I want to go home.
are you even talking about right now? What?
Let's spin the wheel.
Let's spin
Shall
the
we?
wheel.
Wait, we gotta go through. So that was my suggestion. I'm happy mine got picked. So in terms of suggestions, the one constant is Ghibli still has their movie on there and that is still Castle in the Sky until that eventually gets picked.
Did you just put Scooby Doo in there as Scooby Doo Doo?
Scooby-Doo-Doo!
Speaking of which, so Justin has suggested the James Gunn Scooby-Doo duology, directed by the director of the Smurfs, Raja Gosnell. Madison still wants to do Misery.
Because it's still just... that'll probably be my movie choice for all of December.
I thought you
because
wanted
it's
to do Christmas. Christmas.
Oh, you know what? Can we put both in there?
What?
Can we put
What?
Misery? Can we put Misery? But then can we also put A Christmas Carol, the Jim Carrey Christmas Carol movie? Tell me you don't want to watch that movie.
I don't want to watch that movie.
It's classic.
I don't
I
wanna
saw
watch
it in
that movie.
IMAX when I was 9 years
Well,
old.
And
There's
that's why
no
you
IMAX.
like it. Because
I
you-
love it. When I was in the when did you ever have a dream?
Did you have-
when I saw it in IMAX and they're flying through the sky, it was like I was flying.
Well, the problem with that is that I can't watch it like that. I'm not buying a Blu-ray 3D TV
we gotta
and a
buy
Blu-ray 3D player
surround sound.
and a Blu-ray 3D Blu-ray, a copy of A Christmas Carol, just to watch it.
I feel like that's a good investment.
No.
Hater.
You can watch the Polar
Absolutely.
Express in 3D by getting shitty 3D
You don't
glasses.
want to watch that in 3D.
You don't want to watch A Christmas Carol, but you'll watch Polar
It's
Express.
like a roller coaster.
I don't want to watch Polar Express either.
You know what kind of train this is?
So we keeping it to the 4 options, or is Madison really gonna?
No,
Defend it.
You get the 4 options.
Misery. We'll go with Misery. Fuck it.
Okay, so
Make
that's
sure the sound is enabled this time. We've gone through it 3 times now with where you had the respin.
so. Are we doing best 2 out of 3 or elimination style?
We'll keep it with the 2 out of 3, I think.
I kind of like elimination.
Well, we're doing 2 out of 3. He answered first,
Dang.
so
Dick.
Scooby-Doo.
If it was elimination style, it would have been out.
Castle in the Sky.
Yeah, baby.
Misery. First and 2 points. Come on.
Come on. Oh, come on.
The Jim Carrey Grinch movie.
yep. I forgot to mention, yes.
Come on, baby. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
And we are watching the James Gunn Scooby-Doo
Oh,
movies.
I'm not mad at it, but I wanted Misery.
It feels illegal to win this many times.
Yeah. I feel like we should do a mercy rule and just have Justin's votes not count.
This is the whole reason why I
3
wanted to
weeks.
do it with the wheel.
3 weeks.
He's gotten 1. Well, you could have voted against Fargo, but
Put it against Fargo.
and then we could have spun the wheel, and you could have won potentially.
But then we wouldn't have watched Fargo.
See, you win anyway. You win.
But I already know the James Gunn Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah, and we get to
Okay.
So I'm not
But you-
experiencing anything.
no.
I'm not getting anything.
Madison. You were the one that was like, they are not Hollywood's best production, and that they were
No.
fantastic.
They are good movies.
No,
It's just I want to watch Misery more than that
well,
at this particular moment.
you
in
should
time,
get more lucky.
in the year of our
I
Lord
literally-
2023.
I literally chose the Scooby-Doo duology because
Oh my god, it's
You
gonna be
wanted them.
2024 next month.
anywho,
Reese's sponsors.
We're gonna.
I
be,
would just like to say, feels so good to come on this podcast and be the winner of the
Win
wheel.
over and over and over again.
I feel like this is something that's
rigged,
But I won
definitely
last week.
deserved.
revote, recount.
All I can say is
Recount.
big shout out to my main inspo, Ricky Bobby. Shake and bake.
If you're not first, you're last.
If you're not first, you're last. That's it. So it feels real good to come on here and win every time.
Well, I won last time, and we ended up winning with our suggestions. Granted, Misery is a actual good movie, and
Yeah.
this,
Yeah, it is.
well,
Keep suggesting it; it'll eventually get picked up. Sure.
yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we come on here next time and
Week in a
we
row.
no? Eventually, we're gonna get to a point where we both start suggesting Misery because we're running out of shit.
We have plenty of movies.
I know. But if we double up on it, it's got a 50% chance of winning. Think about that.
Oh.
And this is the end of the cheapest podcast.